Here's something I've been wanting to record for a little while. So happens that a few times lately I've been actually having good conversations with people about vulnerability, and it just came clear to me that it's such a wide topic that nobody actually wants to get into it and actually understand what it means to be vulnerable. So here's my version, and it all comes down to growth. Why do I say that? Because if you want to grow, vulnerability is the key. And if you don't want to grow, then vulnerability is something you need to be very aware of. Why do I say this? If you want to grow, you actually have to become vulnerable. And vulnerable is a very interesting situation because it's basically when you decide that you're going to completely open up yourself, open up your ego, your life, everything you are towards something or a situation or someone, or just simply be vulnerable if you want to go to that extent of being I'm 100% vulnerable. And what you do when you do that is you're saying whatever comes my way can touch parts that are gonna hurt, and it will hurt a little bit or it might hurt a lot. So you gotta be aware that when you open up in that way, anything that comes your way, you wanted that. Nobody is gonna go and poke you intentionally, and if they do, you still wanted that. So that's the first thing. You gotta be responsible for deciding to be vulnerable. And second, you need to know that pain will come your way, because that's the only way you're gonna actually be able to see your own ego or the parts of yourself that you go, this doesn't resonate with me anymore, and change them. So if you're into growth, you have to decide how much vulnerability you want. So let's say you meet a new person and you go, I'm gonna be 100% vulnerable with this person. If that person grabs a knife and stabs you, it's not their fault. It's your fault for not taking responsibility for that decision. It's your job to say, wow, hang on, that hurt. What is it about me that has to grow because that created pain? So if that's hurting, there's an area of your life you gotta change. Please don't go back to people and say, I was vulnerable towards you and you hurt me. No, it doesn't work that way. If you don't wanna grow and you make yourself vulnerable, take the responsibility for an action that wasn't meant to be. That you decided, I'm gonna be vulnerable, even though it might hurt. And in fact, it will hurt. But I don't want to take responsibility for that. It doesn't make sense. So if you don't want to grow, if you're happy with who you are, don't open up. Don't actually say, here's my ego, let me show you everything I am, and allow you to actually poke in there when you don't want to be poked. It doesn't make sense. So I wanted to share this because a lot of people just say, oh, I was vulnerable towards that person and that person hurt me. No, that person didn't hurt you. It's the meaning you gave to those words because you chose to be vulnerable and not take responsibility for the act of being vulnerable. It's like going to the doctor and saying, I'm going to take all my clothes off and I'm going to be completely naked. And that's very vulnerable for a lot of people, and saying, please check everything in me. And a lot of the checks, a lot of points and muscles and things that the doctor touches will hurt. And the doctor will say, you're not stretching this, you're not doing this, you're not eating healthy, you're not, whatever it is. It's the same when you decide, I'm going to open up my soul. Anyone will be that doctor, and they will come and, yeah, here's a lesson for you. Let me show you another level. Let me show you another way. Not on purpose. It's very different. Unless you say to that person, and you trust that person so much, to say, I believe in you so much that I'm happy to open up and I want you to show me because you might have a guide for me. So I wanted to put this on a video because I think it's huge, and I think vulnerability it's such a pink elephant in the room that everyone thinks they're vulnerable, but all they're doing is blaming everyone else for showing them where they have to grow. So again, if you don't want to grow, don't be vulnerable. Be an asshole if you are an asshole, or be very quiet if you're quiet. Whatever it is you are, don't open up if you're not happy to feel that pain. And if you want to grow, go full on, because what you're gonna learn from being vulnerable, it's just off the charts. And that is this little video.